A man's behavior reveals his beliefs. If you want to know whether someone values you, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Value is never spoken, it is demonstrated. Many people struggle in relationships, friendships, and partnerships because they refuse to recognize the signs of dishonor. When a man doesn't value you, he doesn't need to announce it. His behavior will expose it. Let me give you 4 behaviors of a man who does not value you. Number 1, he ignores your presence. Number 2, he ignores your kindness. Number 3, he exploits your kindness. And number 4, he does not protect your honor. A man's presence is his greatest gift to anything he values. Where a man invests his time, attention, and energy, he reveals his priorities. You don't have to wonder what is important to a man. Just look at what he consistently acknowledges. If he values his work, he will commit to it. If he values his dreams, he will pursue them. And if he values you, he will acknowledge, respect, and cherish your presence. But when a man ignores your presence, he is silently telling you that you are not a priority. His actions or lack thereof reveal what his words may never say. You can argue with a man's excuses, but you cannot argue with his patterns. And the danger is that too many people remain in relationships where they are tolerated rather than valued, hoping that one day things will change. But time does not produce value, recognition does. In the book of Genesis, when God created Adam, he placed him in the garden and gave him responsibility before giving him a companion. This reveals a powerful principle. A man who does not recognize value will never know how to protect or nurture it. When God created Eve, he presented her to Adam, and Adam immediately acknowledged her worth. He said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." Genesis 2:23. He did not ignore her. He did not treat her like an afterthought. He saw her and spoke words that affirmed her presence. But how many times do people remain in places where their presence is taken for granted? How often do they stay in relationships, friendships, and workplaces where they are invisible? It is a painful thing to exist in someone's life, yet feel like a ghost, unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. You can sit next to someone, share moments, and still feel like you do not matter to them. Let me ask you a question. If you left today, would they notice? If you withdrew your time, your love, and your efforts, would it make a difference? The people who truly value you will make sure you never have to ask that question. A man who ignores your presence is showing you that he does not see you as significant. He may say he loves you, but love is not expressed in silence. It is demonstrated through attention. When Jesus walked the earth, he never ignored those he valued. The woman with the issue of blood pressed through the crowd to touch him. And though many people surrounded him, he stopped and acknowledged her. Luke 8:43. Bartimaeus, the blind man, cried out for Jesus, and despite the noise of the crowd, Jesus turned to him and responded. Mark 10:46-52. Do you see the pattern? Love acknowledges, value sees. Now, let's bring this home with a real-life analogy. Imagine walking into a room where you know no one. You stand there, hoping someone will acknowledge you, smile at you, or invite you into a conversation. But instead, they walk past you as if you do not exist. How would that make you feel? Now, compare that to being in a room full of people who greet you with warmth, who notice when you enter, and who appreciate your presence. The difference between the two is the difference between being ignored and being valued. When a man does not acknowledge your presence, it is a sign that his heart is not invested. You should never have to fight for the attention of someone who truly values you. Value is not begged for, it is freely given. This is why Jesus said, "Do not cast your pearls before swine," Matthew 7:6. A pig does not recognize the value of pearls, so it tramples them underfoot. Likewise, if a man does not recognize your worth, he will treat you as common. But hear me well, your value is not determined by someone's failure to see it. Just because a man ignores you does not mean you are invisible. Just because he overlooks you does not mean you are insignificant. The sun does not stop shining because someone refuses to look up. So, what do you do when a man ignores your presence? You recognize that you were never meant to chase people for attention. You were designed to be cherished, not tolerated. If a man cannot see your worth, it is not your job to convince him. It is your job to know who you are and refuse to settle for less. Because the truth is, a man who does not acknowledge your presence today will not suddenly value you tomorrow. Value is never an afterthought. It is a decision. And when you understand your worth, you will never again allow yourself to be an option in the life of someone who does not see you as a priority. Respect is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. Where there is no respect, there is no value. A man may say he cares about you, but his treatment of you will always tell the truth. Words can lie, but behavior never does. You can tell how much a man values you by how he speaks to you, how he listens to you, and how he treats you in public and private. If a man does not respect you, he does not value you. Respect is not just about using polite words. It is about honoring your presence, your voice, and your boundaries. When a man respects you, he listens when you speak. He does not dismiss your feelings. He does not belittle your opinions. But when a man does not respect you, he interrupts you, he disregards your concerns, and he makes you feel like your thoughts do not matter. And here is the truth. Whatever a man does not respect, he will eventually mistreat. In the book of Esther, Queen Vashti was removed from her position because she refused to be disrespected. The king summoned her, not to honor her, but to parade her before drunken men as an object of entertainment. Esther 1:10-12. She had a choice, to accept dishonor or to stand for her dignity. She chose respect over position, proving that it is better to be alone with honor than to be celebrated in disrespect. How many people today remain in places where they are not respected, all because they fear losing a relationship, a job, or a friendship? Let me ask you something. Would you remain in a house where you are constantly insulted? Would you sit at a table where you are treated like an outsider? Then why do so many tolerate disrespect in relationships and friendships? The answer is often fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of not finding better. But listen to me carefully. It is better to walk alone in dignity than to remain in the presence of someone who dishonors you. Jesus himself never tolerated disrespect. When he sent his disciples out to preach, he told them, if anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake the dust off your feet and leave that house or town. Matthew 10:14. In other words, do not stay where you are not valued. Do not remain where your presence is ignored and your words are dismissed. When a man does not respect you, he is showing you that he does not see your worth. Respect is not demanded, it is revealed through treatment. If a man frequently cuts you off in conversation, if he mocks your beliefs, if he dismisses your emotions, if he disregards your time, he is telling you that he does not value you. And the worst thing you can do is excuse disrespect because of love. Love without respect is not love at all. It is control, it is manipulation, it is abuse in disguise. Think about this. If you had a priceless piece of jewelry, how would you treat it? You would handle it with care, you would protect it from harm, and you would not allow anyone to mishandle it. Now ask yourself this. If a man does not handle you with care, does he see you as valuable? The answer is simple. Whatever a man values, he protects. Whatever he honors, he protects. Whatever he honors, he preserves, and whatever he respects, he does not mistreat. One of the clearest signs of disrespect is when a man does not take your boundaries seriously. If you express your needs and he ignores them, he is telling you that your feelings do not matter to him. If you say no and he keeps pushing, he is showing you that he values his desires over your dignity. This is not love. This is not care. This is selfishness. And the moment you tolerate it, you give him permission to continue. But here is what I need you to understand. Your worth is not determined by how someone treats you. It is determined by the one who created you. God has placed greatness inside of you. He has called you valuable, worthy, and chosen. You do not need to accept disrespect in order to be loved. You do not have to settle for dishonor just to have companionship. The right people will honor you without you having to fight for it. So what do you do when a man disrespects you? You do what Jesus told his disciples. You shake the dust off your feet and move on. You refuse to beg for respect, because respect should never have to be begged for. A man who does not respect you today will not suddenly respect you tomorrow. You do not have to teach a person how to value what they already recognize as precious. Because the truth is, when you know who you are, you stop entertaining people who don't. A relationship without reciprocity is not a relationship. It is a transaction. Love is not just about what you give. It is also about what is given back to you. A man who truly values you will not only receive from you, but he will also pour into you. He will not just take your time, your energy, your kindness, and your loyalty. He will give those things in return. But when a man does not value you, he will take everything you offer while giving little or nothing back. He will expect your patience but never offer his. He will demand your sacrifice but never make one. He will require your presence but never be present when you need him. When a man only takes and never gives, he is not loving you, he is using you. And the danger is that too many people remain in relationships where they are constantly depleted, hoping that one day the other person will change. But listen carefully. If a man does not give to you freely, he will not give to you consistently. Love that is real is not forced. It is given without condition. Jesus demonstrated the perfect example of love in John 3:16 when the Bible says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son." Notice the connection. Love always gives. It does not just receive. It pours out, it sacrifices, it invests. A man who claims to love you but never gives back is contradicting the very nature of love. And giving is not just about material things. It is about time, effort, care, and commitment. Let me ask you, have you ever watered a plant that never grew? You gave it attention, sunlight, water, and nutrients, but no matter how much you poured into it, it never flourished. After a while, you realized that the soil was the problem. It could not sustain life. The issue was never how much you gave. The issue was that it could not receive or return anything to you. Some relationships are just like that. You pour and pour, but nothing ever comes back. And after a while, you are left exhausted, empty, and drained. But here is the truth. If a relationship is always draining you, it is not growing you. Now, let's make this personal. Think about the relationships in your life. Are you always the one making the effort? Are you always the one initiating conversations, fixing problems, and keeping the connection alive? If you stop trying, would the relationship survive, or would it fall apart because you were the only one holding it together? A relationship that depends on only one person is already broken. Jesus told his disciples in Matthew 7:16, "You will know them by their fruits." That means you can tell the nature of a person by what they produce. A good tree does not bear bad fruit, and a bad tree does not bear good fruit. In the same way, a man who values you will show it through his actions. He will not just take from you, he will also be intentional about giving back. But when a man does not value you, his actions will make you feel used rather than loved. There is a difference between being a giver and being used. A giver gives out of love, but when love is not reciprocated, giving turns into depletion. There is a difference between being patient and being taken for granted. Patience is valuable in love, but when patience is one-sided, it turns into suffering. And there is a difference between sacrificing for love and sacrificing your dignity. Love should cost you something, but it should never cost you your self-worth. Now, let me give you a reality check. If a man only calls when he needs something, he does not value you. If he only shows up when it is convenient for him, he does not see you as important. If he takes from you but never pours back into you, he is not loving you, he is consuming you. And if you do not set a boundary, he will continue, not because he does not know better, but because you have allowed it. But listen to me carefully. You are not a resource. You are a person. You were not created to be drained. You were created to be loved, honored, and appreciated. A real man, a man who truly values you, will never leave you feeling empty. He will pour back into you because love is a two-way street. So what do you do when a man only takes and never gives? You recognize that you were never meant to beg for effort. Love should never leave you feeling used. And when you know your worth, you stop allowing people to treat you like an option when you were created to be a priority. Honor is one of the highest expressions of love. When a man truly values you, he will not only respect you privately, he will protect your honor publicly. He will defend your name in conversations where you are not present. He will refuse to allow others to diminish your worth. But when a man does not value you, he will remain silent in the face of dishonor. He will allow others to speak negatively about you, to misrepresent you, and to tear down your character. And his silence is not just a lack of defense. It is a statement of agreement. Jesus gave us a powerful principle in Matthew 12:34 when he said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. In other words, whatever is truly in a person's heart will eventually be revealed by what they say or what they refuse to say. A man who loves you will never allow disrespect towards you to go unchecked. But a man who does not value you will not see the need to protect you. If he can sit comfortably while others dishonor you, then he does not see you as someone worth defending. Let me ask you something. If someone were attacking something you cared about, would you stand by and say nothing? If you truly valued your family, your dreams, or your reputation, would you allow others to tear them down without response? No, because what you value, you protect. What you love, you defend. And what you honor, you preserve. So if a man does not defend you when you are being disrespected, if he does not correct those who misrepresent you, then the painful truth is he does not value you. The Bible gives us a clear example of this in the story of Job. After Job lost everything, his so-called friends came not to comfort him, but to criticize him. They accused him, judged him, and misinterpreted his suffering. But what is most painful is that Job's own wife, the person closest to him, did not defend his integrity. Instead, she told him to curse God and die. Job 2:9. Imagine the pain of suffering loss, and the person who should be standing beside you is speaking against you. This is what it feels like when a man does not protect your honor. He either remains silent or worse, he participates in the dishonor. Now, let's make this practical. Have you ever been in a situation where someone spoke negatively about you and the person you expected to defend you said nothing? How did it make you feel? It is one thing to face criticism from enemies, but it is another thing to be betrayed by silence from those who claim to care about you. A man who values you will make sure that others know your worth. He will not tolerate disrespect in any form, because when a man truly honors you, his loyalty is not seasonal, it is consistent. But listen carefully, a man who does not protect your honor is showing you that he does not see your worth. And dishonor does not always come in obvious ways. Sometimes it is in the small things, the sarcastic remarks that belittle you, the jokes that make you feel embarrassed, the way he allows others to speak down to you without correction. Little dishonors, when tolerated, become big betrayals. This is why Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. You must guard your heart against relationships where you are not honored. You must guard your heart against connections that make you feel small. And you must guard your heart against any man who refuses to protect your dignity. Because a man who truly values you will never put you in a position to be embarrassed, dishonored, or mistreated. Let's bring this home with a real-life analogy. Imagine you are holding a priceless piece of art, something rare and valuable. If someone tried to damage it, you would immediately step in to protect it, wouldn't you? You would let it be torn apart because you recognize its worth. Now let me ask you, if a man does not step in to protect your name, your dignity, or your integrity, does he really see you as valuable? The answer is clear. Now I need you to hear this. Your worth is not dependent on someone else's ability to recognize it. Whether a man defends you or not, whether he honors you or not, your value does not change. But when you understand your worth, you stop allowing yourself to be in spaces where you are not protected. Because the truth is, a man who does not guard your honor today will not suddenly start tomorrow. Honor is not something you teach. It is something a man either has or does not have. So, what do you do when a man does not protect your honor? You walk away. You refuse to remain in an environment where you are not valued. Because when you know your worth, you will never again tolerate dishonor in the name of love. The way a man treats you is the clearest reflection of how much he values you. If he does not respect you, he does not see your worth. If he only takes and never gives, he does not appreciate you. If he cannot protect your honor, he does not truly care for you. And if he does not make you feel valued, then he is showing you exactly where you stand in his life. But here is the truth. You were not created to beg for love, to fight for respect, or to convince someone of your worth. God has already defined your value, and no man's treatment of you can change that. The right people will recognize your worth without you having to prove it. The right relationships will honor you without you having to demand it. And the right love will never leave you questioning whether or not you are enough. So I encourage you today, stop settling for less than you deserve. Stop allowing people to treat you in ways that contradict the value that God has placed within you. Walk with confidence, knowing that you are worthy of love, respect, and honor. And if someone does not see that, it is not your job to make them. It is your job to move on. May wisdom guide your decisions. May strength empower your heart. And may you always walk in the truth of who you are. Good luck and thank you.